Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lizzie. In case you're dropping here for the very first time, welcome so much. And this is where we talk a lot about moving to Australia, but today things looks a little bit different. I know we are sitting at a point where we are so stressed, confused. We don't know what we're gonna do with our visa application from 1st of July because of the new migration reform that we're expecting from July 1st. I have talked and discussed about this on my previous videos. Maybe you can drop by and see some of the changes that the migration has decided to reform. So yeah, we at that point in time where we don't know which legislations are going to be passed and to be approved and what is going to happen. But I want to discuss something very quickly. I will point out on two things. So the first part of this video is I'm going to discuss the current situation that we know of some of the things that are really going to change and how we need to prepare for those people that are already here in Australia. So for the people who are here, students studying in universities and colleges, you need to be aware that this reform is meant for you guys. It is not meant for just the new people who are coming. It is meant for all of us who are applying for Australian visas or who holds any Australian visa. You need to be up to date with the changes that are coming forward. So one of the legislation that I know is going to, they're going to approve is the working hours. So if you're a student, you will only be permitted to work 48 hours, which is 24 hours a week, and 48 hours every 2 weeks per fortnight. So you need to be aware of this. You need to make sure that you are coming up with strategies on how to cope when after a few weeks from today, when things will change. How are you going to cope? How are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to pay your school fees? Yeah, you need to be aware of that. Another thing I want to quickly point out about is about the English requirement. So if you're studying and maybe you are on your last year of completing your studies, I just want to encourage you to start coming up with exit mission, because from next month the immigration is looking forward to amend some rules around the 485 visas and how to apply for permanent residency. 485 visa is a common visa that most of graduates have been applying. So previously it has just been like, if once you complete your study, you will eventually apply for the 485 visa, and it's called a graduate visa. Yeah, you'll be granted for 2 years, but it was extendable. Like you can extend another 2 years. So yeah, this is something you guys need to know. Previously, at this point, if you're looking forward to lodge your 485 visa, you better do it very quickly. Why? Because from July 1st, you will need to provide positive assessment of what you've studied for. The positive assessment, let's say you have studied social work as I did, you will need to provide a positive skill assessment on your line of studies. So if you have done maybe, let's say, community service, you need to get on to ACQA, apply, provide your English, provide everything, then you pay. There's a video I know that I've explained about how to lodge your assessment with different, depending with the course that you've studied. So you guys, this is something you need to be aware of. So if your visa maybe is finishing in July, can you try and apply for your visa before July 1st? At the moment, it is really quick, because if you apply today and you provide everything, by tomorrow you get your visa granted. It has been that quick. But if you wait until July 1st, you'll be caught up. You will need to look for another student visa before you apply for the 485. Because you will not have enough time. Some skill assessment take up to 3 months. Some skill assessment take up to 2 months, depending. Because they also have oh my goodness, there's another procedure and process, and you need to meet some English requirement when it comes, especially with something like teaching, social work, engineer. You need to provide very high, even nursing, you need to provide very high score in English. So these are something you need to start doing it early. So if you're studying at this point, maybe you're looking forward to finishing your studies maybe in December, can you maybe put this into your plan? Start start doing your English practicing. Yeah, can you maybe pay for that assessment and see how you go? Because with that English certificate, it is valid up to 2 years, so it won't go wrong if you start doing it early. You will save time and you'll be on the better position to applying for your next visa, because I feel like it is going to mess so many people. Because if let's say you are completing your studies in December and your visa is finishing in March, and you cannot score 8877 in English as a teacher, you're not going to get registration. You will need, some people, I've seen people do English, redo English like 8 times, 10 times. They still don't get the score they need. It is not something that you can just wake up and do. So when it comes to English part, I hope you guys will be up to it. Wow. Another thing, I know that we are all struggling. It is tough time. The economy is really going high, and there's so many things that are happening when it comes to bills and just the way of life. Let's be mindful. When we move to Australia, we live as per standard of and regulation of what Australia government requires. Do not forget that you are still on a visa. Don't forget that you're still on a student visa, you're still on that visit visa, you're still on that graduate, whatever the visa you are in. Do not forget that, because I feel like so many people are getting comfortable, and they feel like they can just break the law whenever they want to, with the feeling of they can walk out with it. It is becoming, wow, into my attention that so many people are involved into the matters with the law, and it's really hard to pay for a lawyer here. So yeah, if maybe you need to communicate, you need to respond to things, just make sure that you're mindful of that you're mindful that you need to comply with the law and the living standard of Australia, in that, so you are safe and you make the people in the community around you to be safe. Do not just rush into doing things for the sake of doing, because this will affect your visa. You need to meet character requirements, and if you get into a point where you're losing your character requirement, then you will get into very serious problem when it comes to applying for your visa for the next time, or maybe this can be taken seriously with the immigration. Wow. So that is one thing, that is one part of this video that I wanted to discuss and talk about. Another part of this video is this. Wow. So it is about, I think, 2 weeks to July 1st, and so many people have been caught into this last minute rush. Everyone wants to apply for a school and lodge a visa at this specific point. It is not possible. Things are a little bit harder, and things are really a little bit tight. When I say this, I've had an interaction with some of our universities and colleges, and everyone is holding back. So yeah, some of universities, they've even gone out there and said they are not providing enrollment, at this specific point. Some have applied for the offer letters, but nothing. So do not be so frustrated. This is what is happening, because everyone is kind of waiting for this new legislation that is going to be passed very soon. We do not know the exactly 100% rules of what they're going to say. We have a hint, definitely, as the Minister of Migration the other time she discussed about it. So many universities are holding on, so many colleges are holding on. I know so many people are reaching to me, Lizzie, what is happening on my application? I have sent application to schools. I'm following up with my agent. They are not communicating. So do not be frustrated. This is happening with so many institutions, whereby they all need to see what is going to happen. And what, from my own analysis, what I know is going to happen is after 1st July, so the school will have an highlight of what they are required to comply with immigration, or with immigration law and regulation when it comes to admitting school. So yeah, there is no need of you being so you just want to move to Australia within these 3 weeks. It cannot be possible. Just hold on, make sure you are looking for all the possible requirements that you need to provide. Make sure you are providing genuine documents. And when I say this, I mean it, because I know where I come from. I know where I'm standing. I know what is happening in this field. So do not get on to a point where you feel like you can now walk away with the things that you do, you know, in your country, and just feel like you will be safer here. It will still catch up with you. So make sure you are looking for the documents. If they've asked you for a bank statement, this is the time you should start looking for a bank statement. Start looking for an English certificate. Start, you look for those compliances that you need to provide. Okay, I know it is hard, but you know what, it rather take you another 2 years and you come into this country prepared, ready, and being on the safer side with these with the government, than rushing up and then you get here, things are crashing on your side, and then you cannot even afford to pay bills. So this is that point that you really to reconsider Australia. If, to be honest, this is what you want, take your time, breathe in, breathe out, get all the requirement documents, because that is going to help your application to move here. Again, we are moving forward. I feel like I've been doing so much research about Canada. I know Australia is becoming a little bit difficult for some of people who cannot actually raise that amount. It is not cheap to move here. When I tell people you need about $20,000, you need about $15,000 just to pay your first school fees. You need about $10,000 just to pay your first semester school fees. Some people feel like this is so much heavy for them. So I'm thinking of what else can we do. Yes, moving to abroad is such a big achievement that most of people appreciate at the end of the day. So I'm looking into coming up with so many information about Canada and how you can move to Canada, either on a student visa, on a work visa, on a visit visa. You get there, you convert out to a work permit. I'm currently working with very great people who live in Canada, and another person living in States. So we are kind of going to brainstorm our mind, or we are brainstorming our mind at this point to see what we can deliver and help people who cannot afford all these crazy amount of money. But saying this, I know Canada could be an easy option for you guys, or some of you guys, but you really need to make sure that you're using the right channel. It's crazy. So many people are losing their money. So many fake agents have come up and they're giving people visas that are not there. So anyway, this is something that maybe we'll discuss into our next quick chat. I want to really thank you so much, guys, for always coming through and watching and giving me feedback. If there's something that you feel I should be concentrating on, maybe a question and answer thing, maybe that could do. I'm currently doing so much research on the whole of this. So maybe moving forward, we'll be talking about Australia and Canada. I'm also planning at some point to visiting Canada, maybe setting an office there. Who knows? Yeah, because, you know, the life is, we all never know what life will end up to. Anyway, guys, if you're new here, my name is Lizzie. If you're stopping by, this is where we talk about growth. We talk about moving forward. We talk about moving countries, international borders. This is us. And I want to inspire someone so that they feel they can actually accomplish whatever they want to do when it comes to international migration. So looking forward, press that subscription box if you want to be part of this family. And yes, I'll see you another time. I'll see you next time when we are doing something else. Feel free to drop maybe a question. I'll be responding to some questions that you guys want me to address. Until next time, you have a good time.